Hello everyone, welcome to the third session of MySQL Database Learning. So till now, what all we have covered? We have covered about the overview, the MySQL database versions till now, the additions of MySQL, the MySQL Client Server architecture, popular storage engines, what are the different type of server logs, then InnoDB Tablespaces, undo tablespaces, and MySQL socket files. In this session, we will be seeing, this will also be a theoretical session. In this session, we will be seeing about MySQL database schemas and the new features in MySQL 8. So let us proceed with. So basically, these are the three schemas which are related with maintaining your database, and mostly you will be getting these three schemas by default in our MySQL installations. So first is information schema. So what is an information schema? It is a database within each MySQL instance, and it is the place that stores information about all other databases that the MySQL server maintains. So it is some sort of repository, you can. This information database contains several read-only tables, and they are actually views, not base tables. So there are no files associated with them, and you cannot send triggers on them. Also, there is no database directory within that name. Although you can select this information schema as a default database with a use statement, you can only read the contents of the tables and cannot perform any sort of insert, update or delete operations on. So next is performance schema. This performance schema is a feature for monitoring MySQL server execution at a low level. It provides a way to inspect internal execution of the server at runtime. The performance schema focuses primarily on performance data, and this differs from information schema, which serves for inspection of metadata. This performance schema, it monitors server events. So what is an event? Is anything which the server does and that takes time and has been instrumented so that timing information can be collected. So in general, an event could be a function call, a wait for the operating system, a stage of an SQL statement execution such as parsing or sorting, or an entire statement or a group of statements. So event collection provides access to information about synchronization calls, file and table IO, table logs you can say, and servers, several storage engines. These performance schema events are specific to a given instance of the MySQL server, and the performance schema tables are considered local to the server, and changes to them are not replicated or written to the binary log. The performance schema configuration can be modified dynamically by updating the tables in the performance schema database through SQL statements, and these configuration changes affect data collection immediately. Next is Sys Schema. This Sys Schema is in MySQL 8 includes this Sys Schema, and it is a set of objects that helps the DBAs and developers interpret data collected by the performance. So Sys Schema objects can be used for typical tuning and diagnosis use cases. And the objects in the Sys Schema includes views that summarize performance schema data into more easily understandable form, stored procedures that perform operations such as performance schema configuration and generating diagnostic reports, stored functions that query performance schema configuration and provide formatting services. Next, we are with our features added in MySQL 8. So in here we will be seeing the features added, some features which are deprecated and also some features which are removed. So proceeding with this, we means if you want to see what all features have been added, I'm not providing each and every info over here, but I have tried to put some of the informations, and if you need more informations you need to go to dev.mysql.com, and there you will be getting every information on it. So some of the important features which are added in MySQL 8 are data dictionary. MySQL now incorporates a transactional data dictionary that stores information about this data object. And in previous releases, this dictionary data was stored in metadata files and non-transactional. Next is atomic data definition statements, which are atomic DDL. So an atomic DDL statement combines the data dictionary updates, storage engine operations, and binary log writes associated with a DDL operation into a single atomic transaction. Next, character set support. So the default character set has changed from Latin 1 to UTF-8 MB4. This UTF-8 MB4 character set has several new collections, including a character set like UTF-8 MB4 underscore JA underscore 0900 underscore AS underscore CS, which is the first Japanese language specific collection available for Unicode in MySQL. Next comes login. Error login was rewritten to use this MySQL component architecture. So traditional error login is implemented using built-in components and login using the system log. And in addition, a loadable JSON log writer is available. To control which log components to enable, we need to use the system variable log underscore error underscore services. Next comes the backup log. So this is a new type of backup log which permits DML during an online backup while preventing operations that could result in an inconsistent snapshot. So this new backup log is supported by the command. I will give these commands in my website, or you can check these commands from my from dev.mysql also. So it's supported by log underscore instance underscore for underscore backup and unlock underscore instance syntax. And the backup underscore admin privilege is required to use this step. Next, connection management. So MySQL server now permits a TCP IP port to be configured specifically for administrative connection. And this provides an alternative to the single administrative connection that is permitted on the network interfaces used for ordinary connections, even when max connections are already established. And with regards to plugins, previously MySQL plugins could be written in C or C++. Now MySQL header files used by plugins contain C++ code, which means that plugins must be written in C++ only and not in C. Redo log archiving. As of MySQL 8.0.17, InnoDB now supports redo log archiving. Backup utilities that copy redo log records may sometimes fail to keep pace with the redo log generation while a backup operation is in progress, resulting in lost redo log records due to those records being overwritten. The redo log archiving feature addresses this issue by sequentially writing redo log records to an archive file. It is somewhat similar to Oracle's redo logs. Backup utilities can copy these redo log records from the archive file as necessary. So the structure is a bit similar to what you get in Oracle. And with regards to security and account management, the grant tables in MySQL system database are now InnoDB transaction tables. So previously these were MyISM non-transactional tables. The change of grant table storage engine underlies an accompanying change to the behavior of the account management. Previously, an account management statement such as you can say create user or let's say drop user also, those named multiple users could succeed for some users and fail for others. Now each statement is transactional and either succeeds for all named users or rolls back and has no effect with if any error occurs. And the next point, new caching underscore SHA and 2 underscore password authentication plugin is available. So you need to remember this, like SHA 256 underscore password plugin, caching underscore 2 SHA 2 underscore password implements SHA 256 password hashing, but uses caching to address latency issues at connect time. It also supports more transport protocols and does not require linking against OpenSSL or for RSA key pair based password exchange capability. This MySQL Enterprise Edition now supports an authentication method that enables user to authenticate to MySQL using Kerberos, provided that appropriate Kerberos tickets are available or can be obtained. And MySQL now supports roles, which are named collection of privileges. So roles can be created and dropped. Roles can have privileges. It's similar to Oracle, means many features are similar to Oracle right now. Roles can have features, privileges granted to and revoked from them. Roles can be granted to and revoked from user accounts. It is similar to what you have seen in Oracle if you have already worked in Oracle. And next comes this system user privilege. So MySQL now incorporates the concept of user account categories, with system and regular users distinguished according to whether they have this system user privilege. Partial revokes system variable. So previously it was not possible to grant privileges that apply globally except for certain schemas, and this is now possible if the partial revokes system variable is enabled. And with regards to table encryption, this table encryption can now be managed globally by defining and enforcing encryption defaults. The default encryption variable defines an encryption default for newly created schemas and general tablespace. Encryption defaults are enforced by enabling the variable table underscore encryption underscore privilege underscore check variable. So these are some of the features added with regards to InnoDB. Some of them are: the current maximum auto increment counter value is written to the redo log each time the value changes and saved to an engine private system table on each checkpoint. These changes can make the current maximum auto increment counter persistent across server restart. Additionally, a server restart can no longer cancel the effect of auto increment equals to end table option. So if you initialize the auto increment counter to a specific value, or if you alter the auto increment counter value to a larger value, the new value is persisted across server restart. A server restart immediately following a rollback operation no longer results in the reuse of auto increment value that were allocated to the rollback transaction. If you modify an auto increment column value to a value larger than the current maximum and auto increment value, then the new values is persisted, and subsequent insert operations allocate auto increment values starting from the new larger value. So with regards to index tree corruption, when you are encountering it, InnoDB writes a corruption flag to the redo log, which makes the corruption flag crash safe. And InnoDB also writes in memory corruption flag data to an engine private system table on each checkpoint. And during recovery, this InnoDB reads the corruption flags from both locations and merges results before marking in memory table and index objects as corrupt. The InnoDB main cache plugin supports multiple get operation and range queries, and also in InnoDB new dynamic variable InnoDB deadlock detect. This may be used to disable deadlock detection on high concurrency systems where deadlock generally naturally occurs. Deadlock detection can cause a slowdown when numerous threads wait for the same lock. At times, it may be more efficient to disable deadlock detection and rely on the InnoDB lock wait setting for transaction rollback when a deadlock occurs. And this new information schema dot InnoDB cached indexes table reports the number of index pages cached in the InnoDB bufferful for each index. I know this is getting a bit boring because it is something we are not doing the practical, but you need to know the theory before we hit on to practical. So bear with us, and probably once you get to know the theory, then it will be better for you to go with the practical. So I'm covering this. The InnoDB table encryption feature now supports encryption of redo log and undo log data also, and the InnoDB storage engine now uses MySQL data dictionary rather than its own storage engine specific data dictionary. So these are some of the deprecated values, variables and options system variable and server variable and options in MySQL 8. If you need the full details, you need to, means I have given the link, you need to click on this link and you can go ahead with the details. But in here I have just covered some of them, because everything, covering everything will be much more boring also for you, and it will be tedious for me also to cover. So I have just mentioned a few in here, like compression. So this is a deprecated value in MySQL 8.0.18. So whether any client connection uses compression in client server protocols, that's what it says, which is deprecated. The slave open tables, this is also deprecated from MySQL 8.0.26, where the number of temporary tables that replication SQL thread currently has open, this value is deprecated. The default authentication plugin, this is deprecated in from 8.0.27. So, and the expired log days, means the purge binary logs after these many days, how many days after which you can purge it. So that is also deprecated from 8.0.23, from 8.0.3. And the query cache limit, so the query cache limit and query cache size, queue cache hits, those are removed from MySQL 8.0.3. So the query cache limit is something which states do not cache results that are bigger than this value. Similarly, the query cache size is the memory allocated to store results from old queries. And queue cache hits is something, number of query cache hits. So these have been removed from MySQL 8.0.3. So this ends our topic on MySQL theory part. So from our next session, we will be seeing how to install MySQL, how to configure it, how to go ahead with our replication setup and everything. So this will be covering in step by step in each session. Hope you have liked the video, although I know that it is very much boring for anyone to check with, but please bear with us. And since this is a theoretical session, so hope you have liked the video. Please do like, share, subscribe and comment. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Take care.